What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. Today, we are going to take this 2018 Toyota Tundra Limited on a little, I guess, joyride, 100 miles or so, and we're going to see the pump-to-pump calculations. We're going to see how good this thing is on fuel, so stay tuned. Okay, so right now we are on our way to the gas station to get this started. So the plan is to get on the highway and do roughly a 100-mile trip. Obviously, I'll give you the actual mileage we did at the end, but we've done the pump-to-pump calculation with the supercharged Tundra. And being most of you have the naturally aspirated 5.7-liter iForce V8, I figured we would see how good this engine is on fuel. So obviously we're gonna fill it with regular fuel. I'm gonna drive it like a normal person. I'm not gonna hyper mile it or anything. When it's time to speed up, I'm gonna speed up. At my turnaround point, I'm gonna give it an acceleration to get back up to speed for the highway. We're gonna see what this truck can really do. But this is kind of a real world test of what the MPG is in this truck. Now, mind you, this truck is still very new. I think it has under I'm on a different screen right now, but I think it has under 1,000 miles on it. I'll get you that before the video is over. Probably at the end, we will talk about that. But overall, yep, just heading to the gas station now that I'm gonna reset all my stuff. This is something you don't know, a little behind the scenes action for you. So I write post-it notes for a lot of these videos, especially fuel mileage videos, because there's a lot of stuff that you have to do along the way. So, you gotta remember to reset your trip clock. You got to remember to take a picture of the pump and get the gallons you put in at the end, or else the whole video is pointless, because it's all about the miles you traveled and the gallons you're putting back in at the end of the trip. So yes, like I said, right now we're gonna head to the gas station, fill up, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Hey, just a note, not to the gas station yet, but the odometer is reading 854 miles. So this truck is nowhere near broken in. So this will be the first MPG test of quite a few as we see the miles go up on this Tundra. All right, we are back on the road. We just filled up, so now the trip begins. One thing I just learned, actually, I went to reset everything, the trip counter, the MPG clock. So in the 2018, and maybe I'm wrong, and 2018 owners, correct me if I am, I went to reset the MPGs to get it to 0, so I could see, obviously what MPGs I'm doing, but come to find out, I couldn't reset it. In 2017, all you do is hold down the display button and you're good to go. Well, guess what? In 2018, there is no display button, and when I held down everything else, it didn't work. So then I shut the truck off at the gas station to fuel up, and I saw that the truck automatically counts your trip MPG. So it looks like we will be able to see what the truck says versus what the pump says. But so now I'm going to just pretty much do the fun thing and drive. And if you could see my face right now, I'm one of those like, oh great, another MPG test, but we got to do it. So please enjoy this montage. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the halfway point. We have just turned around, so now we're putting the pedal down a little bit, get the Tundra up to speed. Gets up to speed very nicely, and we are heading the other direction. So now let's talk about some driving impressions of this trip so far. Okay, we just spun around, so now we are headed back to the gas station to see what this truck can do. So a couple driving impressions. This is the first real trip I've taken in this truck. So a couple notes right off the bat. I've said this a bunch of times. I'm gonna say it again. The Crew Max and Double Cab are like two different trucks to drive. Now the truck Liberty gave me, the 2017, that was the Tundra Double Cab SR5 TRD, felt even different than this truck. That truck felt really light, really fast, but it had less equipment than what's in this 2018 Limited. This truck, it doesn't feel slow, it feels reserved. Now, mind you, it has under 1,000 miles. It doesn't feel broken in yet at all. It definitely has the power, definitely has the speed, but it feels just a little tighter, way more new. The steering is a little different. Road travels, you know, there's nothing bumpy about it or anything like that. It just, now mind you, I drive a supercharged Tundra, and I know some of you guys are going to think of that right away, like, well, you drive a supercharged Tundra, so, you know, you're used to a ton of power at all times, which is true, but I'm kind of comparing this to that other double cab that I drove from Liberty a couple months ago. That thing felt like a rocket ship. This doesn't feel slow at all. It feels less top heavy than the Crew Max, just like all double cabs I drive. It just feels a little reserved, and as everything starts to break in and the belts loosen up a little bit, it's going to feel fine. But for right now, that's kind of the feeling on this drive, is just very new. Some interior notes I've learned along this trip as well. The seats are very comfortable. Big high five to Toyota on these seats. Now, you guys know I have the Platinum, so I have the perforated Lexus grade leather. This is leather as well. It's just a little more heavy duty leather. I think I like this leather better just for the durability factor. If you spill something on this leather, you can easily just wipe it right up. If you spill something on the Platinum, the perforated leather, that's going to be a little bit of a pain because you have all those little tiny holes in the seat. So that's one thing I definitely like about this truck. One thing that I've been scratching my head a little bit is the lack of options in this, being it's a limited. And here's what I mean. I know we've talked about this, you know, probably 1,000 times at this point, how some of the Tundras just lack options. In the Platinum, you get a lot of stuff you don't get anywhere else. We talked about the memory seating in a recent video. You don't have memory seating in this. You don't have power mirrors, which is a little confusing. Power folding mirrors, I should say. As far as stepping up from the SR5 into this limited, it looks like the major difference is you get leather, and you get I forget what I was going to say there. Sorry about that. I was watching the road. You get the dual climate control as well. You get heated seats, little things like that, but overall, it's not too different from the SR5. So if you're looking to save a little money, I suggest you getting both and see if you really need the leather, or you could go with the fabric seating, because overall, pretty much the same thing. Now, this truck does come with blind spot monitoring and cross traffic alert and that kind of thing, but you can get that in the SR5. You just need to get the, I believe it's safety and convenience package. But yeah, I always tell you guys this, just go out, test drive a bunch of different trims and see what you need. Now, if you go up into a Crew Max for the limited, then you can get the sunroof. You could get a couple more options on that. But talking about this double cab, I'm just a little shocked on a few things it is missing, being it is a limited, which at one point was the top trim for the Tundra. And last but not least, before I get to the pump, I want to talk a little bit about the cabin noise in here. It's nothing too crazy. You can hear a little exhaust, not a drone or anything like that, just you can hear a little exhaust. Kind of sounds awesome. And when you get on the pedal a little bit, you can, you know, hear a little intake sound, but don't forget this has the TRD intake, or excuse me, the TRD air filter, not the intake, just the air filter. But overall, you know, it sounds like a Tundra, it sounds like a truck, it sounds like a V8. No rattling, no shaking, no vibrations. The truck is really not moving around a lot. It really is a comfortable ride. I feel like these 20-inch wheels and tires really help the ride a lot. Now, mind you, I'm used to driving on the all-terrains and, you know, the mud terrains and things like that. This is a very roadworthy tire, so it's a totally different feel for me, being this is not a TRD. Alrighty, road trip over, nice smooth trip. Didn't really have any stoppages along the way. The highway was wide open, which was awesome. Kept it around 70 miles an hour, pretty much the entire highway. Hit a little traffic when I got back into town right before the gas station, but that was pretty much just a few traffic lights, nothing crazy. So the trip was 89.4 miles. And when I got back to the gas station, we put 5.871 gallons back into the tank. Now the truck is saying we hit 16.3 MPG on that trip, but let's do the math. Here's the truth. 89.4 divided by 5.871 equals There you go, 15.22. I don't know if you could see that. There you go, 15.22. So the trip meter was almost 1 mile off, so 1 MPG off. So what do you think about that? 15.22, 89.4 mile trip, 95% highway. I mean, if you guys watch my other videos, you know when we do pump-to-pump calculation with the supercharger, with my Tundra, it'll say we're getting 22.1, and then we get to the pump and it's like 15 MPG. So it's not as off. And again, we will do more testing with this truck for MPG. The truck is brand new, not even 1,000 miles on it, so it needs to be broken in a little bit. Hopefully the fuel mileage goes up. But what do you think about 15.22? I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of comments on this one. But once again, one more time, the truck was super smooth. It felt good. It did feel very new. Like I said, it felt not, like I said this along the road, not slow, but reserved. So as it breaks in, it'll probably get more free and feel a lot better. The steering was good, a little tight. Just overall, I got real used to it real quick. And the Crew Max versus double cab might as well be two different trucks because they feel completely different. But now it is time to hop out of this truck and hop back into the Platinum Pro. Can't wait to see how that feels after driving a naturally aspirated 5.7 for the last 2 hours, how it'll feel to get back into a supercharged Tundra. So that should be fun. But I thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, right below me in the comments below, or Twitter and Instagram at Tundra234. You guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.